Hey everyone, Piano Man Chuck here. I am back today with the Nord Stage 3. Awesome, awesome stage piano. But now I'm thinking if you're a pianist and you gig out as a pianist, the Nord Piano 3 will probably suit most of your needs. But if there's a chance that you do other things besides piano, like organ, maybe you're with a band and you do some other parts, maybe harpsichord and claves and maybe flutes or some other thing like that, then maybe you might be better off with the Nord Stage 3 even as a pianist. And let me explain why. Now, if you're strictly a pianist, the keyboard itself is going to be superior on the Nord Piano 3 because it's going to have triple sensor technology. It's got weighted hammer action keys. So basically, that's a step above what this has. But it's really not bad to play on these keys either. Now, it's not triple sensor technology, but you can do pretty much everything you want to do with this. Now, as far as the actual pianos and things like that, this also has the advantage over the Nord Piano 3 because the Nord Piano 3 having 1 gigabyte of memory, this doubles that with 2 gigabytes of memory. The Nord Piano 3 having 60 note polyphony, this doubles that with 120 note polyphony. So already you've got a little bit more, and you got more control with the effects section and so on and so forth, and there's other things as well. Granted, with each, you can go ahead to the Nord website, go to their sample library, and put all the different pianos on here that you want, and different instruments that you want as well, and so on and so forth. But it seems to me that the Nord Stage 3, you have much more control over your piano than you do with the Nord Piano 3, with the exception of the keyboard and how that feels to you. All right, now with the Nord Stage 3 or the Nord Piano 3, either one, you've got a plethora of pianos that you can choose from, unlike some place like, let's say, Yamaha. Now, Yamaha makes acoustic pianos. So they're only going to put the pianos that they make into their boards. They make Yamaha concert grands, Yamaha whatever, uprights, whatever, consoles, all Yamaha pianos. They also bought Bosendorfer a couple years ago, so they own Bosendorfer, and they will put Bosendorfer piano samples in there as well. And if you're going to consider something like Kawai, excellent keyboard feel, but Kawai only puts their own pianos in since they're another manufacturer of acoustic pianos. They're only going to put their own in. Nord does not manufacture acoustic pianos, so you're going to find a little bit of everything in here. Now, their best sample right now is, in my opinion, the Royal Grand 3D. All right, so if I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go into list mode and let me go into category. Now I'm looking at just the grand pianos that are here. So we just heard the Royal Grand 3D. Let me go to the Velvet Grand next. And from there, let's go to the Grand Imperial, which is a Bosendorfer. And here's a new one, a glowing piano pad. This is a piano and a pad. The next one is an Italian Grand, which is a Fazioli. The next one is a studio grand. The next one, which they're calling a Grand Lady D, is actually a Steinway D. Then there's a Velvet Soft. And on all of these, let me just go back to the Royal Grand because that's my favorite. All right, so on the Nord Stage 3, unlike the Piano 3, you have this new thing over here, which is kind of a separate EQ for the piano. Yes, you can use the EQ section over here as well, in addition, but you have these things here, bright, mid, and soft. So while you're playing, you can go ahead and hit soft, which emphasizes the bass. Or you can emphasize the mid-range. Or you can go ahead and emphasize brightness or brilliance or treble. So you can see where that would really be helpful in a mix. If you're playing with a band, you just press the appropriate EQ over here, in this case maybe the brightness, and you would cut through the mix real easy. So that's some things to think about. I know it's kind of a big price difference. The Nord Piano 3 alone is just under $3,000 US. And for another $1,300, you get the Nord Stage 3. But the Nord Stage 3 offers so much more than what the Nord Piano 3 does, with the exception of the keyboard. Now, while the keys on the Nord Piano 3 offer, like what I said, triple sensor technology, virtual hammer action, and so on and so forth, the Nord Stage 3 also offers aftertouch, something you don't have on here, so you might want to consider that too. Now, on the Nord Piano 3, when you load in external samples, you got a little bit of control with the synth section control panel. But when you're looking at the same thing on the Nord Stage 3, you've got so much more control over it. So that's something to think about. And you also have an entire organ section here, complete with pipe organs. So if you are a gigging musician and you're strictly doing piano and maybe just a few parts here and there with a band, the Nord Piano 3 will probably suffice. But if you really want to take care of things, the Nord Stage 3 is the way to go. You've got complete and full control of everything. Now let's just for a moment look at the piano panel on each one of these. On the Nord Piano 3 and on the Nord Stage 3, you'll see a level control that gives you the level of the piano, not the overall volume, but the volume of the piano, where it sits in your mix if you have it mixed with something else. Let's disregard the zone select on the Nord Stage 3. You have something that's kind of equivalent to that on another panel on the Nord Piano 3, so that doesn't really count. Now, looking at the Nord Piano 3, just below the level, you got keyboard touch, and you got the same thing over here on the Nord Stage 3, a little bit to the right and below that zone select over there. That gives you your velocity settings, light, heavy, etc. And you've got octave up and octave down, which are two buttons which are vertical to each other on the Nord Piano 3 and horizontal to each other on the Nord Stage 3. And you've got some control of your controllers or your pedals on the Nord Piano 3. You can have a pedal that controls volume or another one that controls sustain. And over here on the Nord Stage 3, you can have a controller assigned to the pitch stick and another one assigned to your sustain pedal. Now, when it comes to the Piano Select, notice it's a little bit different. On the Nord Piano 3, you've got two electric pianos, EP1 and EP2. You got uprights, claves, grands, and harpsichords. Looking at the Nord Stage 3, you still got the electrics, but EP1 and EP2 are combined into an electric section. The uprights are still there, the grands are still there, but the clavinets and the harpsichords have been combined into one category over here on the Nord Stage 3, giving way to be able to have two new categories, digital and layer. And you can go ahead and look at my video for the Nord Stage 3, and that should explain at least the layer section over there. All right, and then we've gone through pretty much everything else with the new kind of EQ, brightness, mid-range, soft, and so on and so forth. So that's another thing to take into consideration. Now I know $1,300, the difference between the Nord Piano 3 and the Nord Stage 3, that's a lot of money. And I would really give that a lot of thought. But if I am really playing with a band and I want the utmost control of everything, and if I could afford it, I would definitely go with the Nord Stage 3. And the advantage of all of these is you have replaceable instruments, not just pianos, but everything. And it's available on both of these models. So something to think about. Piano Man Chuck. Peace out. Thanks for watching.